Table tennis world, what's up with you? Got a lot of topics to talk about. I kind of try to update you. It's always so much going on with me that I try to kind of give you guys an update, and then the end, like try to put in the training. And first of all, I wanted to thank you guys for all of the like supportive emails that I got. I It's always weird to know how much influence you do have, and because of the little influence I do possess, I try to make sure that I use it responsibly. So for all of the people that sent personal emails and contacted me on Facebook, that even sent text messages, thank you guys. Like when you're really trying to be honest with your community, you can either you can come out looking dirty, you can come out, polished. And on this one, you guys confirmed to me that I kind of came out, looking polished. So I thank you guys for looking at it, objectively and understanding that it's just kind of business. And what I talked about in the other, video about leaving the company and everything that happened is kind of unemotional defense. I wasn't really offended personally. It's just kind of the cost of doing business, and I guess, like my wife just put it best. She said, like you shouldn't be, don't worry about giving anything to anybody. Everybody keep asking you for these things and you having all this conflict over not wanting to give it. Just don't give it and you won't have any conflict. So that's kind of my lesson on this. First topic is my man, Rick Carlisle. Check me out. He just sent this to me about a week ago. So he actually sent it to me. Now, if you look at the picture, you can see that I'm looking like that way. Now, what I was doing is I was looking at my cell phone, and there was like a professional photographer. So now Ken, this guy, in the other photo that I'm looking straight, Ken looked like somebody got their finger up his butt. So that's what messed up this photo, because I was looking away and Ken was squinting in the other photo that I was looking forward. But it's a really nice gesture from Rick, and I'm really grateful, because I don't know if I told you guys when it happened. I wanted to leave. The meter in my car had ran out, and and he won the championship. I didn't want to be a burden, because whenever it's so much hoopla around the guy, and I just want to be there. We played some table tennis. I was able to keep him stressed out. The night before, he came by the club. He bought Chipotle. Him and Wayne sat down and we talked equipment, and every person that came up, he asked to see their racket, and he like went out and played with him. He was so relaxed, that once he won, I just wanted to go ahead and leave, but he said hang out, and he took me backstage, and in the locker room, and I met everybody, and I took pictures with Mark Cuban. It was awesome. So it was just a great experience, and I'm glad I stayed, because that's going to be something that I'm either going to put up here in the office or I'm going to put at home. All right, next subject is a lot of questions that you guys have asked me. Carlton West asked, what is it so unique about Romania? And it's really three things. The first thing is it's not, I prefer very tough training environments. Anybody that knows me knows I train with the air conditioning off, knows that I don't drink water when I train. Like, I like very complex and just very difficult training, conditions. That just emotionally makes me feel better. And Romania provides that. The second thing is that place is, you go to Germany, you go to Sweden, you go to Japan, they're trying to be American. I would suspect between 2004, which is the last time I went to Romania, and now, that it's just quantum leap, because now they're part of the European Union. But, they're still going to be far from what America is. And being in that city, it's kind of its own little world. It's easier to focus. And that's why I get a little bit conflicted with myself when I hear like there's all these really good players, at the ICC, and I'm sure that's a great place to train. But right now, with what training program you had, you really need to be secluded. You don't need to be training with people that are going to see your playbook, you know, approaching the Olympic trials. You want to kind of like, you're not really display how good your form is, where, you know, what direction your game has gone in. So you know, that's not an approach I would take. The next reason is Valery Philemon, which is Andre Philemon's dad. He is a beast. I mean, classic Eastern European style. The guy is hardcore, you know, and he's one of the only people that I haven't had to do a lot of talking with. I just got on the table and he says, this guy understands it. You know, and I remember one time when I was there, I was training really hard, and he kept saying, I heard Americans were lazy. I heard Americans were lazy. So like somewhere in there, I kind of won him over with, you know, with my focus and work ethic. So I really like, you know, like working with him. And now there's more players that are really good. They're living in Constanța, you know. So that's really the reason I like, you know, I like Romania. Second question is Marco. Marco sent me this question from Facebook, and he's from Italy. He's 25 years old. He's recently converted to short pips. He did it about a year ago, and he started asking me, what do I use? I'm using the same equipment as you. I'm using a Spectral 2.1. I think that's the one they made for the big ball as opposed to the one they had before. I think the pips are a little bit wider. So that's really my setup. And the next question you asked was, what training exercise would I do? You know, what I find is sometimes I cheat. Like a person will do a loop, and you know, with smooth, you just hold your racket out. You can't do that with pips. So if you have the Noogie robot, like you said, I would suggest that you do exercises to where the frequency is low and you really have to pick up the stroke. And then you do exercises where the frequency is high, to where you still have to go through the ball and make your classic stroke. And let's say you do 5 sets of 50 shots landed on the table, not 50 shots hit. You need 50 shots landed. Your muscles need to know what it's like to have gone through 50 shots. So that would be my my suggestion if you're using short pips. And you like the third person to ask this question, and that is, do I plan to do a DVD for short pips? And the answer is yes. I need to get a certain amount of, I need to get a block of training in so I can kind of be able to, you know, go through it all, because the last time I used pips was like 15 years ago, and I achieved my highest rating, and there's a lot of things, a lot of little small questions that I need to answer to myself before I can really feel like, you know, I can put out a training video and it's full circle. It's 3-dimensional. The person's gonna feel like they can start and finish. They can put on the pips, go through this training, and say it's a part of my game now. So once I get to that point, I think that's definitely something that's in the works. I have these armbands. Oh, my man Rick Carlisle gave me these armbands. Now it's by a company called C Prime, C-Prime. Whatever technology is in this band, it allows your body to use more of the electromagnetic energy that's, you know, that's around in the earth. And what I've found is 3 people that I know. Like Rick, if you look at our interview, Rick wears 2 on each hand. You know, he doesn't endorse them. He's not trying to make any money. He's just found that it gives him more energy. My wife has found that she sleeps better. She would have a problem sleeping throughout the night, and she sleeps throughout the night. One of my clients, a good friend of mine now, is a doctor. He found the same thing. So look it up and do your own research. I'm not even sure what the cost of them is. Just Rick just said, Brian, I know you don't sleep, and you know, for me, it's made me go to sleep more. You know, it's made my sleep deeper. You know, I go to sleep just a tad bit earlier now, and the sleep is deeper. So, you know, it's functioning for me. Not enough. I mean, it's enough for me to not want to take it off. You know, I'm about 6 days away from leaving for Europe, and I was thinking about all the things I needed, and I'm going to give you guys a list of all my products. Like, I know I'm taking my juicer. I know I'm taking emergency, which is this powder that basically I'll be sweating so much that I'll need to take this powder so that my muscles won't cramp. I'm going to be taking chlorophyll. I'm going to be taking chlorella. I'm going to take wheatgrass powder. I'm going to take my juicer. There's a lot of products that I'm taking with me. I got a little muscle stimulator that I'm taking with me. So there's a host of products that I'm taking. I'm taking these pills, acidophilus. It helps with your intestines because once you get up and you drink the water, they have different parasites than us. So you'll have a lot of diarrhea. You won't be able to hold down food very well. So I've taken some pills for that. I won't get into it now, but that'll be something that I talk about later on. Shirt design number 1 should be out like September 1st. Take a look at it. Check out that shirt. That's a cool design. You know, I really wanted to make sure that I had good color contrast. And I got some more shirts coming out, but right now I wanted to make sure that the color contrast was nice. And they'll be on sale at dynamictabletents.com on September 1st, and all of the proceeds for the shirt will go to my Olympic training. It's not something that I'm going to keep for myself. It's just buy this shirt and it goes towards my training, and it helps me keep these videos going. Because it does take a lot of time just to do the videos, and any support that you guys can give will be fantastic. Now, on to one item. I was talking with a good friend of mine, Michael Hyatt, that is back training. I think he's going to try for the Olympic team. We talked last week. He, Barney, and Don Olsen are going to go to the Austrian Open. And I'm going to be in Europe from the 22nd of August to the 17th of October. So the Austrian Open is the 21st through the 25th, so I think I'm going to play that tournament. So, and that'll be a nice litmus test, because sometimes when you close your eyes and you're just training really hard, and it's hard for you to know where you're at. So I'm going to put in that block of 1 month, then play the Austrian Open, and then kind of fine tune myself. So when I come home, I kind of know where my game is. And Barney's may be on the fence about going, and if he doesn't go, Michael and I will play doubles, and I'll give you video updates. I got 2 HD cameras, so I'm going to try to shoot as much footage as I can. If I can find one of these top players, you know, and do an interview, find out what equipment they use, I'll try my best. Now on to the training. I'm going to make you guys wait on the Peter Paul video. I got a certain order, and this video is really about serving. Now, I was playing a tournament, and this was a 2-day tournament that I was playing in North Carolina. And the first day I played somebody, and after the match, he kept like saying my serves were illegal. And I kept saying, if my serve is illegal, just go get an umpire. You know, because I put in a certain amount of hours every week training to serve, so I know my serve is not illegal. I came in the next day, and I played just maybe one of his peers. I don't think the guy was better than 1900, 2000. And look at my first serve. Now, you saw that. Now, look at my second serve. Now, after I win both of those points, he comes back and he says the serve was like I was hiding it. So what I did is, let's take a look at that again in slow motion. Now, as you can see, the serve is clearly legal. It's just, you know, I don't want to be facetious about it. You know, I don't think I'm above anything. So now, I made this video about focusing on my serve. And the first set of serves, what I was focused, I think I did 4 sets of serves. And they might have been 15 to 17 minutes each, but I'm going to compress them just for you. The first serve, I just focused on getting the serve short. Just a nice serve, and certain components you have to look at for the serve. There's really 5 components when you execute a serve, and the first one is tossing the ball. Second one is racket, your racket, your body movement. You know, the next one is contact with the ball. The next component is at what height do you make contact, and the last component is where the ball bounces on the table. So you want to get comfortable with all of those for where the short serve is going to bounce. And this is just a block of serves that focuses on serving short. And what I want to think about now, and I'm using pips, is sometimes serving heavy and then making a backhand loop, and sometimes serving a little bit dead so that I can make a backhand hit or follow up with a forehand loop. So that serve block focuses on how I want to play the next shot. The second block is, it's a serve that I've started doing a long time ago. I do it every now and then, but now that I'm using pips and sometimes I want the ball to play out, I'm doing this around the net serve that goes to the forehand. And as you can clearly see from slow motion, that it's actually going around the net and coming back in. And to execute this serve, you have to be able to make contact at a certain point that allows the ball to be able to make the curve, still have side spin and underspin, and safely land in the table. And then from there, I started, once I kind of got accustomed to that serve, I started serving back short again. And the way that I always do serves is I go between going deep and then cutting it short. Starting short and cutting it deep, just so that I'm able to switch back and forth, because if you keep serving, a person will start to just crowd the table and your serve won't be effective. So just when your serve is getting comfortable, short or deep, you want to change it. Just back and forth. So there's a certain cluster of serves that I do short, so I get the body movement, and then from that same body movement I go through it and then I serve short. And after I do a cluster of those, I go from short back to deep. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to keep this interesting. I got a couple of videos on deck. I know that I have a video to where I'm going to practice with Peter Paul Prettybarn from Canada. I have one training video where I'm going to be focusing on a practice match. Here's a practice match, and here's the template for all the things that you have to work on so that you understand what you're doing good, what you're doing too much of, what you're not doing enough of, and if you're making a lot of unforced errors or if you have a lot of bad sequences. So stay tuned for that. And then Do I have another video on deck? Then I have the video to where the wife is going to come in, ask me some hard hitting questions, and I don't think I'm going to enjoy that. But it's a little bit of a opportunity for you to know, like Brian Pace, that other person that doesn't hold a racket in his hand, and just what she thinks of it, hearing it from another side that's not table tennis related at all. So I'm going to try to keep this thing interesting. I'm going to try to keep it cool. I'm going to try to keep it confident. I'm going to try to keep it dynamic. So stay tuned for more videos. Peace.